Hi everyone! Today I am making an Egyptian dessert called Ali. It's a very traditional dish, has a long story attached to it. It's kind of like a bread pudding and it is delicious. So I'm going to show you how to make that today. I'm starting out with puff pastry. You can use phyllo dough. You can even use croissants if you want. I have some walnuts and pistachios, raisins and dried cranberries. You can do any other mixings that you'd like there. Chocolate chips, coconut, all great ideas. You'll just need also some milk, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of vanilla, and cinnamon if you like that. Let's get started. Puff pastry squares are going to go into the oven for about 15 minutes until they're golden brown. Once your puff pastry is in the oven baking, you can prepare your mix-ins. Like I mentioned before, I'm using walnuts and pistachios, but they should be chopped up. So you can buy them that way, or if they're purchased whole, then you'll have to do that on your own on a cutting board. So I'm just going to scatter them on my cutting board, and I'm going to take a chef's knife. That's the one with the curved blade and the point at the end. And I'm just going to rock it back and forth with my hand on top of the blade so that my fingers don't get close to the knife. So I'm just going to continue this until I have them the size and shape that I want. I'm going to add all my other additional mix-ins to the chopped nuts. So again, I had dried cranberries and raisins. You can include coconut, chocolate chips, anything else you like. I'm going to sprinkle some cinnamon in there. That's optional, but I love cinnamon, so I'm going to put a big bit in there and just kind of combine everything. So that's ready for later. Next thing I'm going to do is heat up the milk. I have my glass measuring cup here, so this can go into the microwave. If you prefer to heat it up on the stovetop in a pot, you can do that as well, but this is easier for now. The timer just went off for the puff pastry, so we're going to check it out. Beautifully golden brown. Put that on our hot pad, and I'm going to leave the oven on because the final product is going to go back in the oven pretty soon. I have the milk that has been heated up. This is a tablespoon of sugar. We're going to stir and dissolve in the milk, and I'm going to measure a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. When you're adding vanilla extract to another container of ingredients, you want to be very careful to measure off to the side in case you overflow, and so that you get the exact amount in your recipe. I did have a couple extra drops here go off to the side, so I wouldn't want to have too much in my recipe. So I'm going to stir this to combine the sugar and vanilla with the warm milk. That's going to go on top here is going to be whipped cream. So you can make your own, or you can use store-bought whipped topping, that's fine. But you're going to get a good layer here on top. Make sure you coat the entire dish. All right, this time when we go back into the oven with this, we are actually going to broil it. All right, so what that means is the heat is going to come down on top of the food from the top of the oven. We're going to move our oven rack all the way up to the top, but I need to change my setting on my oven control. So I'm going to select broil instead of bake. High is good, and I'm going to press start. Now the heat will be coming down from the top of the oven. Instead of on the bake setting, it comes up from the bottom. All right, so let's move our top rack all the way up to the highest setting. as that heats up, we're gonna get the heat right from the top of the oven, and we're gonna check that out in a couple minutes. After about 5 minutes under the broiler, we have a beautiful finished ali, a traditional dessert from Egypt. You can serve it in individual bowls. You can pour additional warmed milk on top. You can add more whipped topping on top to your liking, but enjoy this bread pudding and let me know if you make it, if you did anything differently, and how it went for you.